As we take the green, Mike Charest, the flag man, saying 1 to go. Double them up, tighten up that field. Next time out of turn number 4, we're going racing. Cameron in the 96 down low. Wow! Alex LeBay in the 36 up high. Just about got run over by Alex Gannett. He was scrubbing his tires there out of turn number 2. Pace car exits off of turns 3 and 4. The field is in the hands of Cameron in the 96. Green flag is in the air. We're underway in the Bud Light 300.
Well, Marc-Antoine Cameron knows the quick way around here, Adam. He gets the middle groove, and you got the 80 and the 36 challenging on the backside.
There is some history with a number of these drivers, of course. Donald Teague, Alex LeBay, lots of experience in ACT competition. So the top 4, top 5 have up double wide behind that, Clint.
Yeah, best battle out here is Cote in the 29, and he just got passed by the 47 of LP Dumoulin. Now Lacroix will work to the outside of the rookies, 29. That machine driven by Steve Cote.
Having a look, it almost looked like damage on the hood of Kevin Lacroix, but I think it's an optical illusion. I think it's just a shadow, although that right front fender, Clint, I don't know if you can see it from your vantage point, but it looks like it's buckled up on that 74.
It is, Adam. That's a problem. In the 74, the right fender is out of skew already, so he's definitely made some contact with someone on that right front.
What you worry about in that instance isn't so much aerodynamic, but it's really affect the 74 over this first 150 lap run.
Well, it's safe to say this is the hottest race we've had so far this year. It is steamy out here today, and these guys are going to be working inside these cockpits, trying not to cook.
Alex LeBay used some strong terms after practice, said he has never felt better with an oval track car than he did here today, and he's setting up Cameron. LeBay to the inside of the 96 down the back straightaway.
You know, Adam, all week you've been talking about how strong LeBay would be here. He's been having a great day, chilling out, carrying the baby around. He's loving it today, and he's going to love it even more if he can pull the lead here away from a car that's been so dominant in Marc-Antoine Cameron.
Think about Alex LeBay and what life has given to him. He's got a young family, life is grand. He's got a lot of Xfinity Series starts under his belt. But now he's settled in to run the NASCAR Canada Series in that 36 machine. Opportunity is knocking. He gave a couple of runs there at Cameron. He'll settle back in line in second. But LeBay is high on life here in 2024.
Alex Gannett running pretty good in that 4th position right now with the Steckley team. You know, they certainly know the quick way around. They were the dominant car last year. Can they bring some of the magic to the Gannett 39?
Have a look at the 48 deep in the field of Rafael Lessard. He's just outside of the top 10. He is running the 3rd groove. He's not even running the middle groove. He is way up in the 3rd. Now he's back down the bottom of the racetrack, but Rafael Lessard was quick to explore what's available to him out here. We talked about this being a wide racetrack. There's a lot of real estate to work with.
Top 3 have pulled away now. Cameron with a 1.5 length lead out front of the 36 in LeBay. Donald Teague not going away either as he's right on that rear bumper here of the LeBay 36. They got about a 15 car length back to 4th.
Will LaRue under pressure from Andrew Ranger in that number 27. Ranger was all smiles earlier today. He has good equipment. He had a good race car at CTMP in round number 1. He's got a good race car here, and he's like a kid in a candy store. You give him something he can work with, Andrew Ranger is going to give you results.
Another guy who really needs to change his luck is that Ranger team. I think they're on the right path to get that done. We've got a couple of distinct packs here, 3 out front, 4 a ways back, and then another 3 bringing up the back end of that last group is DJ Kennington, who's working on the inside here, trying to find a way around that LaRue and Ranger pair.
LP Dumoulin to the inside of Alex Gannett, tried to put the power down, couldn't. A little bit of contact from Steve Cote in the 29. Kevin Lacroix at the back of that 4-car pack that is 4th through 7th. And again, Dumoulin looks to the inside of the 39 down the backstretch.
The pack behind them, Will LaRue will clear and move up into that position on the outside. A Ranger pulls back in line Everybody single file through the top 15 now. No double file battles as we talk.
Deep in the field, Jason Hathaway, who won the first 2 races when NASCAR Canada visited here almost 10 years ago. Hathaway took victory 2 years in a row. He qualified poorly deep in this field, so he's trying to work his way through traffic. And Alex Gannett, he is pulling off in that 39. Problems for Gannett.
Alex Gannett pulls it in here on pit road. We'll try and see if we can get a look at it. Car is running at him as he pulls by us on pit road. We'll head down there and follow up the story.
Some of his family is actually standing right in front of where we're announcing from, but none of them have radios on, so it's hard to read their body language, but obviously disappointment down there.
Problems on the right rear, Adam. It was sparking bad when he came through pit road. Something's dragging on the right rear here of the Gannett 39.
Wow, look at Will LaRue working the outside at Kevin Lacroix. He passed Andrew Ranger. Now he's working on Lacroix in that 74. So Will LaRue in that 45 machine, plenty quick. Clinton, I can tell you're right down in the pits.
They've changed the right rear, Adam, so it looks like a rear tire went down, and that was the cause of the sparks. Gannett making his way back.
Boy, what a shame. Down a number of laps is Gannett in that 39 as we see him poke the nose out in turn number 4. He'll get back onto the racetrack, but numerous laps down to the race lead. Leaders working their way off of turn number 2, closing in on the back of the field.
What happened here, Alex?
Clint trying to get a word with Scott Steckley back there. Not sure if Scott went back to work or if maybe some signal was lost, but now Alex Gannett just ahead of the race leader Marc-Antoine Cameron. He goes to the inside of Corsall in the 54.
Yeah, Adam, we talked to Scott Steckley, said it was a slow leak on the Gannett 39. They got it fixed up. It finally went down, started rubbing and sparking. So a fresh sneaker on the the 39. 93.
39.
New car, it's a new car.
You're all good. He's 4 laps down to the leader, but you can see he's got some speed. He's to the inside of Thomas Neveu, so he's going to try to carve a hole through this slower traffic with Marc-Antoine Cameron right behind in that 96.
Top 3 still running tight quarters here as they work it off turn 4. Putting laps up fairly quickly here. One car with an issue so far. Everybody else still in the mix.
Tell you, the car that's impressing me right now is Will LaRue in that 45. Continues to work the outside, trying to pass his way into the top 5. Steve Cote runs the bottom in the corners, but on corner exit comes right up to the wall. But Will LaRue almost close enough to get his nose in there and assert himself, Clint.
Trying to find the quick way through it. Of course, as we spoke in the early going here, he's just trying to figure out what his competition's going to do. It's got to be a little bit difficult when you don't know who you're racing with, especially when these guys all know each other so well.
Even as a newcomer, Will LaRue knows the driver in his rearview mirror is the most aggressive driver in the history of our series, maybe with the exception of Kerry Mix. But Kevin Lacroix drives that car hard every lap, and that's who's putting the pressure on Will LaRue. We're 3 wide at the front. Alex, trouble. Matthew Kingsbury goes around in turn number 2. Stiers goes around off the nose of Marc-Antoine Cameron. That'll bring out the yellow flag. Glenn Stiers was about to go a lap down. He checked up for the spinning Kingsbury. Marc-Antoine Cameron did not. So that will put us on our first yellow flag of the event. 36 laps complete. We'll see if the truck has a replay of that one, but I believe they will because it happened right around the leaders. Let's have a look at this. Not exactly the replay that we were expecting, but let's do this. Let's take a quick break on flow for those watching on the stream, and when we come back, we'll see if we've got a replay, but it'll be time for lots more racing here at Autodrome Chaudiere. Welcome back to Autodrome Chaudiere. We're under our first yellow of the day. I believe we've got a replay of the activity down in turns number 1 and 2. It was Matthew Kingsbury in the 9 and then Glenn Steyers in the 0. Look up ahead, Kingsbury going around, might have had some help from Dexter Stacey, and then as we said, Cameron was right on the back bumper of Glenn Steyers. Doesn't look like either car sustained much damage, but they both went around. I believe we've got some activity in the pits.
Matthew Kingsbury has gone to the pit stall. Adam, you give us a second, we'll chase it down and get right back to you.
Thomas Neveu going to the tail of the field. Let's give you a full field rundown with 40 laps complete. Leading the way is Marc-Antoine Cameron in the 96. The 36 of Alex Labbé is second. Donald Teach is third in the 80. Then it's the 47 of LP Dumoulin and the 29 of Steve Cote. Sixth, the 45 of Will LaRue. Seventh, the Kevin Lacroix in the 74. Eighth is Andrew Ranger in the 27. Ninth is the 17 of DJ Kennington. And rounding out the top 10, Raphael Lessard in the 48. 11th, the 97 of Maxime Gauvreau. 12th is Simone Dion-Vienne in the 37. 13th is Jason Hathaway. 14th is JP Bergeron in the 1. 15th is the 84 of Larry Jackson. 16th, the 92 of Dexter Stacey. 17th, the 24 of Thomas Neveu. Those are all the cars on the lead lap. 18th, 1 lap down is Dave Corsall. 19th, also a lap down is Glenn Steyers in the 0. 20th, 3 laps down now is Matthew Kingsbury in the 9. And then, of course, Alex Gannett scored 21st. Looks like he is officially 5 laps down to the race lead.
Alex Gannett on pit road here, Adam. They've gone around. They're going to change the right front now on this machine for Gannett in the 39. We are also in the Dirt King pit with Matthew Kingsbury. They've got engine trouble. They have shut it off after lifting the hood. So it looks like the 9 may be done here, or at least going down a handful more laps.
Alex Gannett gets back on track just before we come to the restart. The Pinty's restart. Side by side down the back straightaway, Cameron edges out in front of Alex Labbé, but Labbé's going to drive it deep into 3 and 4, try to maintain that track position to the outside of the race leader. Cameron will lead that lap. Cameron will take the lead. A little bit of contact there between Steve Cote and Will LaRue. They both had to check up in turn number 2. Now Kevin Lacroix giving all sorts of pressure to Cote on the inside, while Will LaRue continues to make the outside groove work. What a move by LaRue to work up into the 5th spot. Top 4 single file. Steve Cote up out of the groove in that 29 machine. He's running in the 6th spot. So now the top 5 are single file. Then there's a few different lines being run just behind them, Clinton. It is a gaggle of cars.
Yeah, about 8 cars double file with Cote leading up on the 3rd lane, up on the outside. Kevin Lacroix in that mix along with Andrew Ranger, DJ Kennington, and Raphael Lessard. Some big names in this series going at it 2 wide.
Of course, Raphael Lessard, a former winner here at this race. He was driving for J.F. Dumoulin when he took his victory many years ago, but he knows how to get it done here at Chaudiere. Out in front, Cameron opening a bit of a gap, about 6 car lengths over Alex Labbé.
Now, Adam, is Labbé just letting them go, or is this a race when you're on it the whole way because you need to be?
You know, it's hard to tell, Clinton. Really, the answer to that question lies in the 80 car of Donald Teach. Alex Labbé is a veteran. He's a veteran enough to know he does not want to put himself in a position where Donald Teach can knock him up out of the groove or get physical. So as long as he keeps a gap on the 80 of Teach, I'd say Labbé is probably content to be out there running laps in the 2nd spot.
Just want to make a quick mention, Matthew Kingsbury has returned to the track here in the 9. Whatever was wrong under the hood, they must feel like it's better as he's running good laps once again.
Still the gaggle of cars working their way off of turn number 4. Kevin Lacroix down low. Steve Cote hanging in tough on the outside. Andrew Ranger looking to stick his nose 3 wide up the middle in that 27. He thinks better of it.
Boy, did he ever. Things were getting really tight, and it's still going on with the battle right up to the wall on the front straightaway. Swings the outside cars of Cote and Ranger. Cote's almost rubbing that green paint off the backstretch wall.
Cote is finding new lanes to work out here. Will LaRue has settled into a top groove. In fact, it's quite reminiscent of a groove that Andrew Ranger has run here a lot of times in the past, but LaRue turning good laps up there. I'm going to call it the middle groove because Stephen Cote is running the outside. He's a full car width wider than Will LaRue in certain corners.
I think you bring up a good point here, and this is the home track advantage that LaRue has. Not really on the bottom, not really in the middle, definitely not on the top. I think it's that second to third lane. He's right in the middle of it all, Adam. So lots of wild action going on here as they really expand this track groove out.
Another driver showing his veteran expertise. DJ Kennings in the Castrol Edge 17. He knows he doesn't have the fastest car on the racetrack, but he believes he's got his car as good on the long run as anybody else out there. Get that veteran a bit of track position. He's doing a great job of that right now, and who knows what he can do towards the end of this one as he runs in the 8th spot.
Adam, you're a racer. You've been in these types of cars. You know, at what lap do you really start to feel the heat exhaustion? Is it now? We still have 240 to go. Could they be feeling that heat already?
No, Clinton. Only if something isn't working. They have certain creature comforts in these cars, kind of a mind over matter thing. But if something fails and your foot starts to burn, that's when it's going to drive you crazy. It's not going to drive you crazy under green flag conditions. It'll drive them nuts under yellow when they don't have that laser focus of what's going on. But I really think all of our racers anymore, they're on a physical regimen as much as they are anything else. They know what it takes to be successful.
Well, Glenn Stires has struggled with heat issues inside the Zero cars. You know, last couple of seasons, he has challenged his crew to say, you want to see how hot it is? Let's put a hot dog in there, and when I come in, you'll see it'll be fully cooked and ready to eat. That's how hot it is inside these NASCAR Canada machines.
And that's a great example. Glenn Stires, there were things failing on that race car. Some of the heat protections that he has in that car were failing, and it was causing him to burn his foot. And you can't race like that. But most of these teams, they have things sorted out. As far as just the pure heat of the day, Clinton, we're going to see that at the midway break and in the second half of this race. Right now, I think these drivers are up on the wheel. 65 laps, that's nothing for a late model racer. Wait till we get to about lap 200.
Marc-Antoine Cameron working his way to the back of the field here. The Zero car will be the first one he will see. He's got a big lead over second right now. Either LeBay has let him go or Cameron is just showing his dominance here in the early going.
Could be a little of both out there as the 96 having a great run. Alex LeBay all by himself in second, but then it's Teach, Dumoulin, LaRue, Kevin Lacroix, 4 cars battling for 3rd through 6th.
Cameron will make the pass on the Zero, gets cleanly by the Stires machine.
Oh, trouble.
Now LeBay.
Trouble for Will LaRue in the 45.
Will LaRue's got problems in the 45. They will be bringing him in most likely as the crew sprints off down to the pit lane.
I'm trying to tell if that's tire smoke or engine smoke. Hard to tell, but if it's engine smoke, you'll see fluid coming out from under that. No, he's going to drive away, so not sure what went wrong there for LaRue. What a great run that young man was having.
Well, we wait to see if he makes his way to the pits. Adam, let us know if he's headed our way.
He definitely is, and that car looks like maybe a trailing arm mount. We've got a replay watching him through 1 and 2, and then smoke out the left front. Like, was it a wheel bearing? What on earth? The fact that he drove it away, Clinton, he's coming to you now.
We're here ready for him, and we'll give you the audio as soon as we can.
It was bizarre to watch on replay. It was certainly not clear what went wrong, but plenty of smoke out the front.
Will LaRue here on pit road. The crew immediately goes under the hood, and Joe Lawrence, the APC late model ace, reaches over and says power steering, and you can smell it here. So a power steering issue on the 45 of Will LaRue.
Oh, okay, you want to talk about heat and comfort for the drivers, today is not a day to race without power steering. We can see Mike McCall looking over those crew members' shoulders. Joe
They're talking
Lawrence
about it out and trying to see if they have anything to fix it, and Joe Lawrence going for a strut here to see if he can find the parts they need to get Will LaRue back in this event.
You know, there's no points on the line for Will LaRue. Points don't matter to this 45 driver. It was about getting experience. It was about battling for a win.
Yeah, LaRue sits patiently here, has not started to take any of his gear off at him. I think they're waiting to try and formulate a plan here before they make a call.
I mean, lap time is invaluable. It would be great to get him out there and run laps, but at the same time, you got a car that's in one piece and competitive. I'm not sure if they're planning on going east to race in Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, but with the way that car performed here today, that would certainly make me excited for the next time I get to go out and play. We're going back to green this time. Marc-Antoine Cameron on the inside in that 96. The 36 of Alex LeBay on the outside. 74 laps are complete. Cameron edges out in front of the 36 of LeBay. He'll stay down in the bottom group. LeBay going to drive deep into 3 and 4, but I don't think he's going to be able to mount a challenge just like previous starts and restarts. Marc-Antoine Cameron getting through the Pinty's restart zone very well and getting up to speed. Cameron leads the way. LeBay settles into second. They're side by side for third. The 80 of Donald Teach down low. The 47 of LP Dumoulin up high. And then the 74 of Kevin Lacroix trying to keep his bumper right up on the back end of that 80 of Donald Teach and not leave any opportunity for LP Dumoulin to fill that hole. Teach edges ahead, the 47 of Dumoulin. Lacroix right there on his bumper. DJ Kennington right on the back end of Lacroix. So LP Dumoulin's got to stay up on the wheel, try to make that outside work. There is no opportunity to get back down low. The different lines being run are fascinating right now. Kevin Lacroix looking to go 3 wide on the inside. Couldn't get the power down. LP Dumoulin with a good run on the outside. They'll work down the front straightaway into turn number 1. LP Dumoulin may have had the spot that time. No, he didn't, but they were dead heat at the line to the 1,000th of a second. This time at a turn number 4, LP Dumoulin is going to pick up that 3rd spot over Donald Teach to put the WeatherTech 47 into the top 3. Teach going to settle into 4th. Now Stephen Cote working the outside of Teach in that 29 as Kevin Lacroix continues to lead that 74 right up on the rear bumper of the 80 machine. DJ Kennington heads up to the high groove in the Castrol Edge 17. I'd say he's following Steve Cote, but he's not running as high as Cote in the 29 as Cote gets a nose to the outside of Donald Teach in the 80. Then it's Kennington on the high side trying to get to the outside of the 74 of Kevin Lacroix, and he's got Raphael Lessard right behind him.
Well, Cote banging that right rear off the fence once again. And one thing you always said many years ago, Adam, you want to win, race where they're not, and that's exactly what Cote has going on today.
Yeah, it's an unorthodox line, but it's working very well for the driver, that number 29, as he's taken over the 4th spot. Goes down to the bottom of the racetrack, and I don't think he was trying to block Donald Teach. He was just trying to go back to the racing groove, and it doesn't look like the car likes it down there. The car shot back up to the outside groove. I think he's going to stay up on the high side.
Kevin Lacroix nosing in on that left rear quarter of the 29. Donald Teach in behind them with Kennington hungry in the back of both of those guys.
At the front, it remains all Marc-Antoine Cameron, the GM Paillet number 96. He's got about 12 car length advantage over Alex LeBay in the 36. LeBay with a few car lengths over LP Dumoulin. Then again, 10 car lengths back to Kevin Lacroix running in the 4th spot. Steve Cote rounding out the top 5.
Behind them, Donald Teach, DJ Kennington, Ranger with Raphael Lessard working that outside run, trying to get a gain on Ranger, but Ranger holds tight.
Jason Hathaway snaking his way through the field in that Weiser Asa Abloy number 3. Hathaway, a veteran of this series, stepped away from driving duties to sort of manage the team and take on a car chief role, crew chief role. Now back behind the wheel of the iconic number 3.
Battle's starting to shape up around 5th and 6th. Kennington trying to nose up under that Cote 29. He pulls alongside now. Cote with the advantage once again into 3, but that battle's starting to pick up.
The challenge you have running the inside is you use the right front tire a little too much going on into the corner. You use up the right rear tire a little bit too much on corner exit, trying to keep up with the car on the outside. DJ Kennington is a veteran of this sport. He knows he's either got to clear the 29 of Steve Cote or be very mindful not to abuse the right side rubber on that 17.
Will LaRue making his return to the track here, Adam. They've obviously got it fixed. A lot of promise in this kid, having a good run so far. They're going to log some more laps and see if they can't get him even farther up to speed.
I don't know what's going on.
He pulled right out in front of the leader there.
Well, he's got the speed. Now he's behind the leader. A little bit of extracurricular going on with Simone Dion-Vienne in the 37 and the 84 of Larry Jackson. Those two were swapping paint for a couple of laps. Race director saying knock it off, 37 and 84, but that got exciting. Now we'll look at this battle. For the 3rd spot, LP Dumoulin has a spot in the 47, but Kevin Lacroix putting the pressure on.
All over the back bumper is that Napa machine on the WeatherTech Dodge of LP Dumoulin. And all of a sudden, Lacroix's up on the wheel, trying.
Kevin Lacroix drives it deep into the 3rd turn. That's as close to a slide job as you're going to get in that series. Lacroix drove it down deep, slid up in front of Dumoulin in the 47. As we said, he didn't want to mess around trying to battle on the inside. He wanted that spot. Now he's got it.
So the running order, Marc-Antoine Cameron, and then the 36 of Alex LeBay, 74 of Kevin Lacroix, Dumoulin 47, Cote in position number 5.
Great battle deep in the field between Larry Jackson and the 84, the 37 of Simone Dion-Vienne as we look at Kevin Lacroix pressuring Alex LeBay for that 2nd position. 100 laps complete. Marc-Antoine Cameron continues to lead the way, but Kevin Lacroix in the 74, the driver to watch right now.
Well, Cameron's got to work on the Corso number 54, but if he can clear that car ahead of him, he's got 4 cars battling for position, and that may slow up the progress a bit. The advantage he's got is Lacroix is a fairway back, a full straightaway behind.
Yeah, Cameron cannot be excited looking out his windshield as what lies ahead, probably in about 5 or 6 laps for our race leader in the GM Paillet number 96. They are racing hot and heavy in front of him. Thomas Neveu with the 9 of Matthew Kingsbury. Larry Jackson just ahead of them, battling with Simone Dion-Vienne. And Marc-Antoine Cameron can only hope they're done playtime by the time he gets to their back bumpers.
Now this may be Cameron having to go up to lane number 3, but he's comfortable right up, diamonding it out to the flag stand, back down to the bottom, and the line has been working. Let's look at Will LaRue. He pulled out right in front of Cameron, and he's hanging with them now that Cameron got around. LaRue not fading at all.
No, LaRue's doing a great job battling out there as Kevin Lacroix working his way through traffic, and then deeper in the top 10. We've got all sorts of side-by-side battles as DJ Kennington gets all kinds of sideways on the inside of Steve Cote battling for the 5th spot.
They bring it off of turn 4. Kennington will edge out in front just a little bit. Cote, though, pulls alongside into 2, and he's not going away.
Kennington will not use up Steve Cote here, but he really needs to clear that 29. He does it in 3 and 4, so DJ Kennington up to the 5th spot in the Castrol Edge 17. Let's see if he can drive away from the 29 of Cote.
Behind them, Donald Teague and Andrew Ranger. A fairway back, Rafael Assard and Jason Hathaway. Cameron continues to lead, and he's picked his way through a bunch of these lap cars and easily got around that foursome that we were worried about.
Marc-Antoine Cameron just with all sorts of speed in that 96 machine. Will LaRue following him move for move out there. Now Alex LeMay in the 36, who runs in the third spot. He's alongside Glenn Steiners in the 0. He's got LP Duval in the 47 right behind him, and Kevin Lacroix closing in on that same quartet of cars that Marc-Antoine Cameron just dispensed of, as we're 112 laps complete in this Bud Light 300.
You can see the cars starting to get a little bit slick as they come off turn 4. Everybody's backing it up towards the fence, and it is getting slicker out here as the tires start to fade a little bit more, and maybe as the fuel load burns off.
And that's a huge difference, Clint, as these cars lighten up in the back end from the fuel run. This race started a couple hours earlier than normal, so they're racing under the sun. It's a greasy track surface out there, so these drivers are busy behind the wheel.
Boy, are they ever. Lots of cars out of shape as they come off before that time. But the one guy who has been picture perfect so far, 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, Larry Johnson, and Dexter Stacy ride just in front of him, and we'll watch as he tries to pick his way through it.
What a potent combination. Marc-Antoine Cameron with crew chief Robin McKee, funded by GM Paillet. They have been as potent as anybody we've seen in this series, as Cameron carefully working the inside of Larry Jackson, that big chief number 84. Oh, problem for Raphael Lessard in the 48. He is up into the wall on the back straightaway. It has been a challenging day for these LaRue cars. Raphael Lessard, they had to change an engine earlier on. The 46, of course, or sorry, 45 of Will LaRue having his power steering problems earlier on. And that will put us under the yellow flag. 118 laps complete. Larry Jackson is being sent around the pace car to the back of the field. It's considered a trapped car, Clinton, because in the NASCAR Canada Series, when we go yellow, they go to the last completed lap, because there is only one scoring loop in this series, and it's at the start-finish line. So Larry Jackson lost his lap on the most recent lap. By the time you go back to the last completed lap, he's on the lead lap. So it'll be Dexter Stacy getting the free pass.
As we work our way back here to the pit area to check out Raphael Lessard, I see a lot of the crews gathered around a big screen here. They're all watching the Flow Racing broadcast.
Well, he's got the window net down, Clinton, and that's a universal sign for my day is done. It's also the universal sign that the driver is okay. But in this case, I think it's signaling I'm done for this afternoon, as the tow truck is heading out to give him a push back to the pits.
Adam, I just got a chance to speak with the crew. They're saying engine is the issue here for Lessard. We'll wait here in the pit stall for him to arrive.
It is not common to see two engines grenade in the same day in one of these race cars. Well, that could be an expensive day at the races. The tow truck with Lessard on the front bumper is now heading towards pit lane, Clint.
Crew waiting here to get a look at it themselves. They've got the report from the driver, but until they can actually put their own eyes on it, they're not going to believe what the driver's naturally telling them. Well, because they always feel there's a chance they might be able to fix it.
What we can tell you is there was no puddle under the car, so there's no big hole in the oil pan. No oil came out of that race car, and Raphael Lessard is headed back to where Clinton Jeffrey is standing by.
Yeah, they're pushing him in here on the tow truck, and we'll be waiting here to see what happens. Obviously, the hood will go up. We'll try and get a word with Raphael as they come in. Big return here, one of the largest ovations from the crowd here today when he was introduced. Certainly a lot of disappointed Lessard fans sitting up there in those hot grandstands right now.
You know, Clint, that reminds me, I was up here in the booth while driver introductions were going on. Who got the loudest response? I would have thought it would be Alex LeBay from Victoriaville, Quebec, but it sounded like Andrew Ranger might have got the loudest reaction from this enormous crowd. This is as big a short track crowd as we have I can't remember racing in front of a crowd bigger than this on a short track, Clint.
We're here in the pits. Lessard getting the wheel off, dropping the window net. Crew going to talk to him. We'll try and get a word with him as the hood goes up here. Some damage on the nose of this, as you can imagine on a short track like this. A little bit of contact, nothing wrong other than a fiberglass bumper damage, but the crew going at it.
And to your point, I'd be curious to know how the conditions were for Raphael Lessard, if the heat was a factor. As we see him climb out of that 48 machine, helmet still on.
He'll get his heat shields off, and that's a good look at one of the things they're using for creature comforts to keep the heat off the heel as it rests on that hot floorboard. As soon as he gets his helmet off, we'll dive right in.
And we are 1 to go, Clinton, so if you have the opportunity to talk to Raphael, for sure, we'd love to hear what he's up to.
Raphael, tough break here. You know, engine trouble. What happened to the car?
I think we blew up a second engine, so there must be something wrong with this car. I don't know if something with the rear end or I have no idea, but 2 engine, that was a brand new engine, so it's terrible. I hate it for my guys. They worked really, really hard the last few weeks to get this thing ready, so big thanks to XPN World and Vallee for the sponsorship they gave me every year.
Thanks for your time here, Raphael.
Thank you.
There you hear it, Adam. Disappointing here. The crew worked very hard to get him out here. He's done for the day.
And Raphael knows what a big deal it is to have 2 engines let go in one day. And we've got a new race leader. Kevin Lacroix is out in front. Marc-Antoine Cameron back to the 2nd spot. They're side by side for 3rd with Alex LeMay on the high side in the 36. LP Dumoulin down low in the 47. LeMay picks up the 3rd spot. Andrew Ranger trying to follow through on the high side. We are just about 20 laps from the midway break, the scheduled break. Drivers starting to realize they want that track position for the restart, the second half of this one. Kevin Lacroix has the best track position of anybody out in front in the 74. It is Lacroix by 2 car lengths over Marc-Antoine Cameron in the 96. Alex LeMay about 8 car lengths back, running in the 3rd spot. He has gravitated up to the outside groove. Andrew Ranger runs 4th in the 27. 5th is the 17 at DJ Kennington as he has just made a pass on LP Dumoulin. So some of our veteran drivers really showing well towards the midway point of this Bud Light 300. The other thing it's showing me, Clinton, is that outside lane. If you're going to be battling late in these runs, the outside seems to be the place to be. Nobody has really had a lot of success running the bottom groove and being able to get back to the throttle and really make hay on the inside.
Kevin Lacroix with the advantage out front of Cameron, and these 2 rabbits have run away from the rest of the field in just a handful of laps. They've gotten out front of the Bay 36, and man, Adam, it's 3/4 of a straightaway already.
Yeah, they broke
with problems. Turn 2.
Corsall in the 54, that seems to be the place to stop out there. Corsall comes to rest. The yellow flag comes out. Can't see what's wrong with that 54. He's going to come straight to the pits, though. So if he was trying to pull a yellow flag, he would have stayed on the track and taken advantage of being able to pull up to the pace car. The fact that he pulled right off, going down a lap, tells me, Clinton, things need immediate attention on that 54.
Yeah, sparks coming out of the right front, Adam. Looks like a trailing arm or a sway bar here. Sorry, sway bar on the right front here of the Kersal 54. And we are getting our steps in here back and forth from the track to the back end of the pits.
And the trouble, so I can see why he came right in. When you start sparking from the sway bar, it doesn't take long to wear the end off of that bolt and ruin your day. So hopefully he got in.
Couldn't be any farther away from where we were standing. They're in the pits now. Crew has the right side jacked up, and they're bringing over a new right front, Adam. So could have been a tire down, and that would have caused the sparking on the sway bar as well.
And if you're over there, Clinton, you want to have a look inside the right front, or even ask one of the crew members probably don't speak English, but to see if that sway bar is still intact. Let's give you a run through. As we see on the camera, the fresh right front going on. No, it's not. The right front's coming off.
You can see the body damage, Adam, there, where it dragged across the track with a flat right front. That won't be an issue. It looks like the sway bar is okay.
A little bit of problem with the air gun there. I think they've gone to a backup. Well, they're going to do this old school.
By hand, yeah, there they go. Not sure what the issue was or if the gun's dead, but they've got two of them there, and they ended up going old school.
So let's give you a full field rundown here. 139 laps complete. Kevin Lacroix in the 74 is the leader. Then it's the 96, Marc-Antoine Cameron. 36, Alex Labbé. 27, Andrew Ranger in the 17, DJ Kennington. 6th through 10th, LP Dumoulin in the 47, the 80 of Donald Teague. 29, Steve Cote. 97, Maxime Gauvreau, having a great drive out there in his series debut, with Jason Hathaway in the 3, rounding out the top 10. 84 of Larry Jackson, 11th. 1, JP Bergeron, 12th. 92, Dexter Stacey, 13th. And then we've got a lap down. 24, Thomas Neveu. 37, Simon Dion-Vienne. 2 laps down, Glenn Stiers in the 0. And then another 3 laps down to him are Alex Gannett in the 39, Dave Corsall in the 54, Matthew Kingsbury in the 9. Raphael Lessard, of course, is out of the race after completing 116 laps. And Will LaRue right now is scored in 21st, having completed 111 laps.
We'll wait for him to get out here, Adam. We'll get a quick word with Will if we can. 24-year-old, as he knows this place, got to be super disappointed. The car ran really good, but when that power steering line went, that kind of put him out to lunch today.
Yeah, that's tough sledding for Will LaRue. A tough day for that whole race team. As we get the 1 to go signal, Thomas Neveu gets his lap back in the 24 machine. Kevin Lacroix electing the outside lane for this restart. Marc-Antoine Cameron down low.
Well, Will LaRue, tough break for you today. Looked like when the power steering went, that started your problems. But talk about your day. You know, overall, were you happy with the car? You looked fast. Obviously, you couldn't change that, but are you pleased?
Yeah, I was pleased with the speed the car had. I was trying to second move there. 6.5, I don't remember. But yeah, unfortunate. The power steering hose broke, and I had no more power steering. So yeah, sometimes it's just bad luck. I mean, the car was good. I went back on the track and tried to give it all I had behind Cameron, but I mean, had speed, but just bad luck.
Not a great day here for Will LaRue, but he was fast, guys.
And that's a great takeaway for LaRue, and what a battle. Kevin Lacroix has taken the lead, and Andrew Ranger, teammate of the 96, Marc-Antoine Cameron, has picked up that second spot. Ranger up high, Cameron down low. They still battle side by side as we're within a handful of laps of the midway break. Wow. Jason Hathaway in a heated battle with Donald Teague in the 80, the 1 of JP Bergeron. Bergeron with his hands full of handling in that 1 machine. Maxime Gauvreau right behind him. Torrid battle there deep in the top 10. Back at the front, Cameron continuing to work the bottom of the racetrack with Andrew Ranger up on the high side, hanging on to the second. Kevin Lacroix enjoying what he sees in the rearview mirror, seeing these cars battle behind him. The more they race side by side, the better it is for Kevin Lacroix in that Napa 74. Next time by, it'll be half through in this Bud Light 300. 150 laps down, 150 laps to go as Kevin Lacroix extends his advantage out front in that Napa number 74. Andrew Ranger trying to clear the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, and he will pretty much do that, but he's running such a different line. Ranger way up high, Cameron way down low, that they do cross paths. Well, Larry Jackson completely sideways in that 84 off of turn number 2. Alex Labbé dropping back in that 36 machine. He is out of the top 4. In fact, out of the top 5 as Steve Cote has taken that 5th spot on the high side. Labbé down low, running in 6th, right behind the the 17, DJ Kennington. So we wait for a race director to call midway break as we continue. They normally try to let the battles on the racetrack settle out. They don't want any position changes. They don't want to affect the running order of the race, but they're going to have a time waiting for all these battles to start because we're 150 laps into this one, and the battles continue to rage on. Ranger under attack from Marc-Antoine Cameron. Ranger up high in the 27. Cameron down low in the 96, and a couple of cars that look identical, but they are prepared in different race shops. Cameron under the watchful eye of Robin McCluskey. As they continue to wage that war for the second spot. Right behind them, LP Dumoulin, really nowhere to go for the driver, the WeatherTech number 47, as he runs in fourth. Fifth is Stephen Cote. Cote still running the high groove with Alex LeBay down low, DJ Kennington. Next in line in that Castrol Edge number 17. Not a mark on that 17 machine. In fact, not a mark on many of these cars in the top 10. A lot of respectable racing so far as these drivers able to find their room out there. 159 laps will be complete this time at the stripe when we wait for Sharpie, the race director, to call that yellow. We can hear the air guns in the background over Clinton Jeffries' mic. The teams are ready to go to work back there in the pits. They just need that halfway break to be called as Kevin Lacroix closing in on the back of the field. Full course caution is called, yellow flag. This is the midway break.
Adam, as they get set up here in the pits, Etienne Klitsch told his team, we have 3 minutes, no mistakes, guys, very important. So we'll watch as these guys bring it in here.
So great example. Etienne Klitsch is somewhat a car chief. He's not really crew chiefing. He is car chiefing over Kevin Lacroix in the 74 and Andrew Ranger in the 27. He's an individual with experience in NASCAR down at the elite levels. And he's bringing that experience up here to go to work on a couple of very good race teams.
Teams having a good day so far. They've rocketed their way to the front. And we'll watch here. We are in both first and second pit stalls, Adam. We'll give you the stories as they come.
The Fresh Stone Rollies midway leader going to go to Kevin Lacroix in this one. They do things a little bit differently. At the midway point, the free pass recipient goes around the pace car. They don't wait for the one to go. Simon Dionvien, not a rookie by any stretch, but he hasn't run a ton of our events. So he had to be convinced. You could see he was hesitant to pass the pace car because that's the cardinal rule of short track racing. Don't pass the pace car. But he's done that. And now the field is being sent to the pits. Nobody starts work until the 3-minute clock begins, and the 3-minute clock will not begin until the final car pulls into their pit stall and engines are shut off. And I'm not sure the why, but they have changed the procedure for the halfway break this time. They always fuel the car first historically, but for some reason now they're going to put tires first, and then fuel will be the last thing they do. And Clinton Jeffrey, I know you're about to be real busy. Are you calling these live?
Yes, we will. So crews will get in their spots. They will have to stop until they're told they can start the work. As we told you, 3 minutes, no mistakes, is the run here for the top two. As the Napa Auto Parts 74 team sits here with Kevin Lacroix. Don't forget he's got that right front fender buckled up. We'll see if they adjust that with some tape on the Lacroix machine.
Clint, before they leave to go back on the track, I want you to have a good look at that right front and tell me if it was contact or if it was designed to buckle like that and allow more air inside to cool.
Very crafty. We'll try and get a look at that. We're going to call these live to you and the TSN broadcast, so we'll jump in when we can for you, Adam. Well, crews unleashed here to go to work on the top two cars. Kevin Lacroix's team, they're going to reach in here and start working on the left sides, and they will work on the tire situation. Very comfortable with both the 27 and the 74, working on getting the balance perfect, but they don't have to do much. They are both happy. Andrew Ranger's crew, same type of work going on. We see a bit of body damage there as he's been into it. Tough deal on these short tracks, but a good run here for the Ranger 27 as the crew goes to work. Marc-Antoine Cameron also liking the balance on his car. They won't be making any major changes on the 96 as well. And the Ranger team going to work here on the right sides of this JC Paillet 27. No major mistakes yet, everything cool. Just behind us, Alex LeBay's crew going to work. You see an adjustment in the right rear there for LeBay. Lots of cranks going in as he tries to improve the handling of his car here, the number 36. Right side's going on as well, and the crew continuing to work here as time ticks away in the break. All kinds of action here on pit road.
1 minute is complete of the 3-minute break. And Clint, I'll be curious to know if the 74 team even attempts to repair that right front fender or if they're happy with its performance.
Well, the crew's looking at that right front fender on the 74 right now, Adam. They're trying to get it buckled back in, and they're just kind of trying to fold it back under the hood. Looked like the hood got popped up. They have put some tape on it, but I don't know. I like the way it was before. Here they've got a big divot down in that fender, Adam, and you see the bare bond coming out. They were going to tape it over, so I don't think that was a move at all. Accidents caused that fender issue.
Can you tell? I'm like a conspiracy theorist here at this racetrack.
Hey, it looked so clean when he came in. That wasn't a bad theory. I actually looked at it. The fender was in perfect shape, and you say, well, how can you set up for something like that to happen? It looked like that's what was going on.
And for those of you who are racing historians, Bobby Allison's back bumper came off in the Daytona 5. I believe it was the 500. It was the Daytona, and it came off full intentionally because it was more aerodynamic without that bumper on it.
Now crew going under the 74. Not sure if they've got issues. Now they're calling for the catch can. They will get ready to fuel it up. Two crew members just dove under the back of the 74 of Lacroix like he had a problem. Fuel going in to the Ranger 27 here as they will work on fueling these cars. Looks like one after another.
Well, and that's why they go to a halfway break instead of a live pit road, is to allow these teams to not have to bring an active pit crew because it costs them a great deal of money.
They got problems with the catch can, Adam. Etienne Klitsch just yelling for the teams. Now they get the 27 all filled up with fresh fuel.
Well, they had the same problem with the 27 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. They had a hard time getting the fuel into the car.
Cars all being told to fire back up here on pit road. And they will back the leader out and get ready to work on the lineup. Here come the two front markers. 74 of Lacroix and the 27 of Ranger both being backed out of their pit stalls and sent to the lineup.
The most important thing right now, Clint, did all the teams finish the work they were doing?
I only see the hood up on the 97 of Govro. Everybody else up and down pit road look like they've completed what they came in to do. They've got the hood up on the 97. They're taking a cooler inside to give them a cold drink here. And doesn't look like they're done on the 97, but everybody else appears to be good to go.
Let's take the opportunity to have a break before we start the second half of this Bud Light 300. Welcome back to Vallee, Jonction, Quebec, and Autodrome Chaudiere, where the NASCAR Canada Series is here this weekend for the Bud Light 300 with 162 laps complete. We have one penalty report, and that is the 97 of Maxime Gauvreau. They took too long, and I think they knew that, so they will restart at the back of the field, but still on the lead lap. Let's quickly take you through the running order. 162 laps complete. 74, Kevin Lacroix leads the way. The 27, Andrew Ranger is second. Marc-Antoine Cameron at the 96 is third. LP Dumoulin, the 47, is fourth. 29 is Steve Cote is fifth. Alex Labbé is sixth in the 36. The 17, DJ Kennington is seventh. 80 of Donald Teague is eighth. The 3 of Jason Hathaway is ninth. The 1 of JP Bergeron rounds out the top 10. Maxime Gauvreau right now has scored 11th, but that will change because he is restarting at the back. Then it's Dexter Stacey in the 92, the 84 of Larry Jackson, 24 of Thomas Neveu, and the 37 of Simone Dion-Vienne. 15 cars running on the lead lap. One or more laps down, you've got Glenn Stiers in the 0, the 39 Alex Kinnett, 54 Dave Coursol, 9 of Matthew Kingsbury, 48 Raphael Lessard, and 45 of Will LaRue. Not all of those cars remain on the track, but that is the total field rundown. Great work, Clinton Jeffrey, to follow all the action in the pits. It is a thrash at this halfway break. But now the pit crews basically become cheerleaders. All of their work was put in throughout the day, throughout the weeks leading up to this oval race. And there's been spots reserved in the pit grandstands for these crews to sit and enjoy the fruits of their labor.
What a crowd it has been today, Adam. I mean, any race promoter would kill for the type of crowd they had here today. No secret, even when it rains here, they pack this place. But, man, as I say, Chamber of Commerce weather today.
You know, for those of you not fortunate enough to be able to follow this series across the country, Quebec is a different world. Motorsport's alive and well in Canada, but in Quebec, it is still front of mind. There's a lot of marketing partners, a lot of sponsorships out here. The fans come out in droves. And I'll tell you, Clinton, I don't know how much alcohol had been purchased and brought into this facility, but the lines have been astronomically long all day long at the different concessions.
I know how much was drank. A ton of alcohol was drank here today, especially in the sun.
This crowd's having a great time.
How early were they here? I mean, we got to town about 11 a.m. today, and this place was already packed.
There were fans in line waiting to get in at 9 o'clock this morning when they opened the gates.
And I mean, it gets so busy here. Our TV crew actually had to get a police escort into the facility 2 years ago because it was that busy.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how much of the landscape we've got, but you can see that as the shot backs away. The parking, anywhere there is open grass and the hills nearby is where people are parking.
My camera, Dean, is giving you guys a heck of a shot there of the crowd, and I don't think there's an empty seat to be had.
And these are massive grandstands. For a short track, Clinton, I don't know of many grandstands bigger than these.
Not a bad seat in the house here at Autodrome Chaudiere, as you can imagine. And the crew was laughing that it always rains at this race. Well, not today. It is picture perfect.
It is absolutely spectacular. And the nice thing, sorry to cut you off there, Clinton, the nice thing about the seating here at Chaudiere, there's nothing on the infield. So even if you're in the very front row, you have an open sight line to everything around the racetrack.
They have the cleanup crew look like it may be headed out here as they stay under yellow. It's here at the staging lane to pull onto the speedway, so I assume we have something going on the speedway surface.
Yeah, it looked like there was a chunk of debris. I'm not sure where the camera spotted it, but it spotted it. And a bunch of the spotters are pointing down to turn 4. So we'll let the officials sort that out.
Yeah, I'm out here on the apron, Adam. I don't see anything other than some marbles up in the high groove, but we'll see where the safety crew stops. And I don't see much. Maybe a small piece of rubber that they're picking up there. and they run us to the outside berm.
The spotters are pointing to the exit of turn number 4. And how about a welcome back to Jeff Gutler, who last week spotted in the Indianapolis 500. Fellow from Chatham, Ontario, who has really come a long way and had some amazing jobs in the world of spotting for motorsports. And they're still pointing down, Clinton. These spotters are adamant. And they are waving their arms and shouting at the officials. And I don't think...
I'm going to try and see what they picked up off the track.
I'm going to stand up and see what they're pointing at. I can't see it from my vantage point.
Well, Adam, here's what they were talking about was on the track, and I can tell you, I don't even know what that is. It's a 3/8 wrench of some type, and that's what they picked up in turn 4, so you can see clearly there, 3/8 on it. It's an adjustment tool of some sort. I'm not sure what you'd adjust with that.
Coming off of turn number 4, Kevin Lacroix, the Napa 74, Andrew Ranger in the GM Vallee 27. We're back under green with 170 laps complete. Side by side through 3 and 4, Lacroix down low, Ranger up high. Lacroix with the advantage at the stripe, but not by much.
Ranger working on that outside groove, and look at, they almost went 3 wide. Cameron thought about it but backed out, and they are double file off of 4.
Marc-Antoine Cameron, the 96, running in 3rd. Andrew Ranger was the leader that time at the stripe. They are teammates, Clinton, but they don't race like it.
Adam, look at the 96, man. He can place that car high, low, anywhere he wants, sniffing around for a gap to get around the 74 and the 27.
And he is trying to arc that corner to make a 3-wide move. He opened his entry into turn number 1, trying to drive underneath the 74 of Lacroix at the exit of 2. Couldn't quite make it happen. He's doing it again, though. He comes in a little bit wide.
Yeah, trying to get that run up on the inside of the happen just yet, and now way up on the outside goes Andrew Ranger on a turn 4. He's got a good head of steam. Can he take the lead off of 2?
Andrew Ranger's in his happy place up on the high side of an oval track. We've seen this time after time since 2007. We have a change of leader. No, Ranger's still showing at the stripe as the race leader by 5/1000ths of a second.
Oh, if you're JC Paillet, what are you thinking, boys? Settle down. We got a long way to go, but man, get both of those cars to the front. They've had great days so far, but Lacroix looks very determined.
Kevin Lacroix was the leader that time by 12/1000ths. JC Paillet does have team rules. Race each other respectfully, and whoever does the best, but it has to be respectful racing.
Cameron backs it up once again to try and aim at a shot at the rear end of the 74. Ranger up high. Now he may get pinned up on the outside, and Cameron tries to steal second away.
The trouble right now for Kevin Lacroix, he's finally able to run up to the wall, but with Ranger working the outside, he had to keep that car pinched off, and he's overworking those tires. Oh! Cameron squeezes Ranger up towards the wall. Andrew Ranger not going to be thrilled about that.
And as you mentioned, Kevin Lacroix.
He's going to give it to him. Sorry, Clint. Ranger squared him up and absolutely pushed Cameron through 3 and 4 that time by. Message delivered.
Working off of 4 comes the leader, Kevin Lacroix, with a big advantage now, up to 3, maybe 4 lengths out front of the Cameron 96, but he's closing that gap up quick. Ranger's there. So is LP Dumoulin and Donald Teague. Both of those drivers, 4th and 5th, have had solid days so far.
Very good days for those drivers. Donald Teague traditionally does better in the early part of a long run, but traditionally he does sometimes fade in the end. Alex Labay is sort of the opposite. The 36 seems to come on stronger deeper in a run, but he struggled at the end of the first half of this race.
Back behind Labay, Kennington still runs alone with a margin of 2 cars, 4th and back behind him. Cote in a battle with the guy who won here twice in the past, Hathaway, and they're rubbing donuts down to 2.
Hathaway down low in that number 3 on the outside is Steve Cote as they race door to door through turns 3 and 4.
And Cote squeezed up right to the wall as Hathaway going to make it tough on the 29.
Cote still with track position on the outside. They'll drive it deep into 3 and 4. Hathaway almost cleared that number 29 down the front straightaway.
Got by him into 1, but now Cote takes another shot up front though. Lacroix, Cameron, Ranger, then Dumoulin and Tiege. LeBay trying to get in that mix in the top 5.
Andrew Ranger has to be thinking big picture. He squared up Marc-Antoine Cameron, gave him a push through 3 and 4 a few laps ago, but remember the first half of this race, his car really came on late in that first half and Cameron faded just a little bit. So his spotter may be on the radio, Joe Chisholm Jr. saying, you know what, settle in here, just run some laps. Nothing pays until lap 300.
Very true, and they're not getting very far out in front. You'll be able to reel them back in when we need to if we've got the car anyways, so I agree, don't abuse it.
Back through the field, we see drivers coming and drivers going. Stephen Cote in the 29 falling back, but the 92 at Dexter Stacey starting to get racy. He's working his way into the top 10 while running in the 10th spot, battling for 9th. Off of turn number 4, Kevin Lacroix leading the way. Cameron slowly closing that gap. Cameron was faster that lap by 1/100th of a second, so the top 2 running basically identical lap times. Andrew Ranger a little bit less than 1/10 of a second slower, but a lot of cars still with plenty of speed out there. So we can hear Joel Robinson, the producer, talk. Oh, I think they might have a track bar going to 12.
Yeah, the rear end is askew here. Joel just grabbed us and dragged us back here. We're in the Cote pit. Crew now making a plan to get it changed. They've got the wrenches in hand and all the tools they will need.
I don't understand how that car is still up to speed. I mean, that rear end is coming out of that 29 machine.
Well, they have to get them on pit road as soon as they can so it doesn't become a bigger problem.
So a track bar sort of positions the rear end in these race cars. And sometimes the track bar mount breaks and it'll end the day for a team because the rear end is washing all over the place. I'm trying to remember if I've seen, I don't know, something loosen off to, I can't even imagine, but the rear end in that 29 is almost 2 inches out to the left, and we can see smoke as he and Dexter Stacey rub wheels through 3 and 4. I have a feeling we might see a yellow right here as Stephen Cote sizing up the 92. He knows what he needs, gives a little bit of a bumper. Stephen Cote working the inside of Dexter Stacey. They continue to race side by side up front. Kevin Lacroix has just gone around Thomas Neveu. Marc-Antoine Cameron going to follow him through as they continue to battle side by side further back. Cote down low in the 29, Dexter Stacey up high in the 92.
Well, Stephen Cote with rear end problems. We think he's got a broken trailing arm. The crew is patiently waiting, but they have not sent him in yet. They're trying to hope that he may get a yellow here so they don't have to do this under green.
Well, I had a feeling he was trying to size up the 92 with Dexter Stacey to maybe create his own yellow flag, but he...
Conspiracy Adam again, eh?
No, not a conspiracy. That's just being an opportunist.
Well, the crew, they look a bit frustrated. They want to get to work on this car, but he is not coming in just yet.
He's still turning reasonable laps. I mean, he just passed Dexter Stacey. He's racing in the top 10. But yeah, that problem is about to be race ending for the 29 of Steve Cote.
And you got to be chewing up more things. Drive shaft, the other trailing arm's got a lot of stress right now. A lot of things could be going wrong in that car aside from this one problem.
100%, Clinton. Kevin Lacroix getting into some heavy traffic. He's to the inside of Simon Dionvien. Marc-Antoine Cameron right behind him in the 96 machine. Now they'll close in on Glenn Steiner's in the 0. The 74 car looks to be a bit of a handful. Cameron sort of glued to the bottom. The 74 coming off the inside just a little bit down in the turns. Now Lacroix to the inside of Steyer's in the 0. But Glenn Steyer's one more lap down. Just ahead of them, Maxime Gauvreau, who has stayed on the lead lap in that number 97. But that may come to an end as the 97 machine just about to be closed in on by the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. Ahead of them, Larry Jackson trying to complete a pass on JP Bergeron in the number 1. Bergeron runs 11th on the lead lap. Larry Jackson runs 12th on the lead lap. Now Lacroix to the outside of Gauvreau. Gauvreau doing a great job moving down to the bottom, giving these leaders lots of room to the high side. Kevin Lacroix opened a bit of a gap on Cameron. Cameron is excellent on the bottom of the racetrack, but he doesn't really move off the bottom. So when they had to go to the outside there of Gauvreau, Cameron lost a bit of ground to the 74 of Lacroix. With the luxury of calling these races, Clinton, since 2007, and we see a lot of smoke coming off of somebody down the front straightaway. I'm not sure who that was, but we'll keep an eye on it. It was in the pack. Is it Alex LeBay in the 36? Yeah, smoke off the back of Alex LeBay in the 36, a driver who had high hopes today. That gives every indication of a rear end about to let go, and LeBay pulls up and off the racetrack, Clinton. You'll have to give that a smell as he drives on by.
Yeah, the crew getting ready for him as well here as LeBay's crew prepares for him. Here he comes into the pits. We will find out what's up with this 36 car. Crew immediately going to the right rear, and he shuts it off, which is not a good sign. Now they go back under the hood. They'll pull under the hood, see what's up. Hearing it might be a power steering issue for him as well.
Wow, that put a lot of smoke out the center of the back of the car for power steering.
I see a little bit of oil over the overflow, but I don't see any other major problems, Adam.
Well, Clint and Jeffrey going to stay on the scene, find out what's going on. Kevin Lacroix under pressure from Marc-Antoine Cameron. They're about to complete lap 222 in this Bud Light 300. Lacroix swings to the outside of Larry Jackson to put the 84 lap down, and that saves him from the attack of Marc-Antoine Cameron for the time being. Larry Jackson now a lap down to the leaders.
Alex LeBay getting ready to jump out. Adam will jump in when we can, but the crew still mysteriously searching around for the cause of the smoke and the fluid here.
Kevin Lacroix has worked up to the outside groove in that 74. He drives down into the corner in the middle groove, slides up about half a lane, and he's exiting on the outside. That's got to look appealing to the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron. He's going to drive that 96 to the inside, but this could be a little bit of cat and mouse by Kevin Lacroix. For Cameron to clear that 74, he's going to have to use up tire, use up brakes on the 96 machine. So Kevin Lacroix is a savvy veteran of this sport and continues to lead the way as they complete lap 227. Running in the third spot, Andrew Ranger in that number 27. Not getting clear laps, so we really don't want to look at the time to see about his speed. He's trying to clear the one of JP Bergeron. Of course, the leaders did that a number of laps ago, and then they got around the 84 of Larry Jackson. So right now it's just the two leaders battling amongst themselves. Kevin Lacroix, the Napa 74, the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron. Cameron drives to the inside of the 74 of Lacroix, but they're running such different lines, they really don't cross at any point.
Well, Alex LeBay, what happened here? Smoke out of the back, crew going under the hood and the back end. Can you tell us what happened?
Not too sure. I mean, when it started smoking, smell oil, big time hole in the car. So the car was, they were saying it's catching on fire, so we just parked it. Car was, I don't know, we started pretty strong and it just got tighter and tighter and tighter, and just fought tight all day. Just still a decent day, qualified good, had a solid run for our first oval as a group, for LL Motorsport. Just really happy for the effort and for all my sponsors on board. Malwa Transport, GBI, Steel Tech, everybody that came on board. Wish we could get a big win, but we'll come back stronger next time.
Disappointing day for Alex LeBay. We appreciate your time, Alex.
Thanks.
There you hear it, guys. Alex LeBay, not sure what's up, but a disappointing day. He did show speed throughout the process.
Trouble, Larry Jackson off the pace. He has taken that 84 machine into the pits. Larry Jackson, who stayed on the lead lap for 200 laps, and now he's headed towards the pits, so Clinton Jeffrey will make his way over there. Meanwhile, at the front, they're side by side for the race lead.
Larry Jackson makes his way into pit road very slowly here, Adam. Smoke out of the back of the 84 as well, as he will pull it here to pit road. And now he's having trouble getting it rolling. Looks like maybe some gear issues with this car, as he's having trouble just pulling it in those last 10 feet.
Larry Jackson, whose main focus is get to the finish, try to stay on the lead lap, and you should be good for a top 10 run. Things not going his way here today as the battle continues at the front. Kevin Lacroix continuing to hold off the advance of the 96 Marc-Antoine Cameron as they also work their way through the field. They just put Dexter Stacy a lap down. He runs in the 9th spot. Next car in front of the race leaders. Oh, they're side by side for the lead. Cameron to the inside. Now they're going to look 3 wide on Thomas Naveau. Kevin Lacroix threads that needle 3 wide. At the stripe, it continues to be Lacroix by just 8/1000ths of a second as Cameron works the bottom group. They're door to door down the back straightaway. At the stripe, once again, it's Kevin Lacroix by 4/100ths of a second as Cameron pedaling as hard as he can on the bottom. You can see the driver struggling to keep that car down on the racetrack.
I got Larry Jackson here. Larry, looks like rear end issues. You struggle getting that last 10 feet in. What's the story on the 84?
Yeah, the big chief here isn't so big today. Rear guard started going about 2 laps ago, obviously you can see. Experience. You don't want to have that kind of experience, but I felt it coming 2 laps ago, and here we are in the pits, and damn unfortunate.
Tough break for Larry Jackson. You really smell it burning up here, Adam. That rear end has some distinct smell. Back to you.
Just over 50 laps to go in this Bud Light 300, and we might soon have a 3-car battle at the front of this field. Andrew Ranger in the number 27 GM Paillet sponsored machine. He is sneaky fast as laps are winding down. Working on Dexter Stacy in that 92. Once he clears Stacy, it is just the 2 race leaders out his windshield. Let's see if Ranger can close the gap on Kevin Lacroix and Marc-Antoine Cameron. Clear racetrack right now, and Andrew Ranger is about 1/10 of a second faster than the race leaders. They're all on the same straightaway. Kevin Lacroix back to the top of the racetrack. Marc-Antoine Cameron not quite on the bottom, but not quite as high as the 74 of Lacroix as they work through 1 and 2. And then Andrew Ranger has Glenn Stiers between himself and those 2 leaders, but he has a fast piece underneath him. Ranger working on the 0 of Stiers. He'll try to clear that slow car, but even laps down, Glenn Steyer's doing a great job this season completing the laps, getting some experience, learning what that car is going to do on a long run. He's got to be proud of the effort put forth this season so far by that GSR crew. 50 laps to go here. Well, 49 laps to go in the Bud Light 300. Kevin Lacroix continues to lead the way. Marc-Antoine Cameron right behind him in the 96. Andrew Ranger just a little ways off those leaders, running in the third spot with LP Dumoulin fourth in the 47. Donald Teach rounding out the top 5 in the 80. Next car in line for the leader, Maxime Gauvreau in the 97. He's about 10 car lengths ahead of the 74 of Lacroix, but he's running a higher line on the racetrack than a lot of the competition. So where's Lacroix going to go when it comes time to get there and put him another lap down? And what's the opportunity going to be for Marc-Antoine Cameron in the 96? To the inside they go. Lacroix down low in the 74. Gauvreau giving lots of room to the race leader. Great deal of respect shown by Maxime Gauvreau to his competition out here. Lacroix gets by. Cameron gets by. Andrew Ranger closing in. And now just ahead.
I was going to say, is this the time when Ranger steps it into gear, Adam? Has he been riding all day, still in the mix, but a fair way back by 10 car lengths, and the 97 of Gauvreau, who he'll try and clear now.
Yeah, Ranger going to work to the inside of Gauvreau. It's just about time to go, though, as we're down to less than 50 laps to go. In fact, 42 laps to go this time, so Ranger's got to get up on the wheel, but he's got a good piece under him. He saved himself as much race car as he can. Now let's see what he's got to fight with as he tries to close the gap on Kevin Lacroix, who has worked his way up to the outside group. This has been unlike a line I've ever seen Lacroix run, but boy, is it fun to watch.
JP Bergeron will be the car they'll have to navigate first, and Andrew Ranger's hoping it takes him a bit more time than they certainly want it to. Lacroix tries to go to the outside of Bergeron, and that's going to cost him some real estate, but Cameron not able to capitalize, and he gets pinned in behind the one.
See, Kevin Lacroix is able to go to the outside or the inside. Cameron's kind of a one-trick pony on the bottom. That's where that 96 works the best, and he gets to the inside of JP Bergeron, but he's now got Andrew Ranger right behind him as they work into 3 and 4.
Yeah, 1 car length is the deficit from second to third, as Ranger now really turning up the heat as the Paillet cars setting up for a battle, as the Napa 74 hopes it takes them a while to settle it.
Oh, for sure. Kevin Lacroix loves what he's seeing back there as he pulls away from that 96 machine. Now they're in clear traffic for a little while. Ranger has cleared the one of JP Bergeron. Let's see who's quicker among the GM Paillet cars. There's a car out there backfiring something crazy. I keep hearing it in the background, but I'm not sure who it is.
Now the top 3 all 1, 2, 3. No cars between them except a large gap from second to third. Ranger still trying to find a way up to the back bumper. The 96 is about half car length behind.
Andrew Ranger really able to roll the center of the turns in that 27 machine as he closes in on Cameron. They work down into 3 and 4. Ranger right up behind the 96. Looks to the inside down the front stretch.
Definitely there, not close enough to make a move on the 96, but Ranger has shown he can get to the inside quarter. You can bet he will try and reel this one up again. Once again, looking down low on the 96.
Cameron continues to slam the door shut. Andrew Ranger trying to set him up. He goes high into turn number 1, gets a big run down the backstretch. Is somebody being black flagged? That might be the 0 of Glenn Steyer's.
0 up out of the groove. Steyer's with issues here, and he is headed back to the pit area.
Oh, rear end fluid coming out of that 0 machine, and you can see the smoke out the back.
You know, I thought it was still the smell from Larry Jackson's rear end as we were trackside, but obviously the 0 with issues as well. The crew running back. Now they've gone back. It is up in smoke here on pit road.
Not the first time we've seen that sort of a problem here at Chaudiere. Tough break for Glenn Stiers as the battle rages on for the second spot. We're 30 laps to go here in the Bud Light 300.
Stiers makes his way by our cameras and we'll head back to his pit stall. Same kind of issues as the Jackson car had by the looks of it. And he will struggle to get in the last 10 feet.
Andrew Ranger with a run to the inside of Cameron. Side by side, they race off at turn number 4, door to door as Kevin Lacroix drives away, opening that gap. Ranger trying to clear the 96 of Cameron off at turn number 2. He's 3/4 of the way past in that number 27. Now he'll clear the 96. Cameron will try to cross him over as Ranger blocks that inside move on corner exit. Kevin Lacroix now with a race car and about 12 car lengths between himself and Andrew Ranger running in the second spot. The driver of that Napa 74 holding a pretty wheel right now. There is heavy traffic ahead. 25 laps to go this time at the line, and if this stays green, there is going to be a lot of traffic for these leaders to deal with. Ranger clears the 9 and Matthew Kingsbury. Now it's open racetrack between himself and Lacroix. Let's see what timing and scoring says this time. The start of this lap, Kevin Lacroix was faster by 1/10 of a second, but Ranger was working through slower traffic. With open racetrack, let's see who's quicker between the 74 and the 27. Kevin Lacroix a little bit faster than the 27 as he catches up to Thomas Neva in the 24. Lacroix to the inside. Andrew Ranger trying to close in on the race lead.
I got Glenn Stiers here. Glenn, a tough break, man. You're really making efforts to complete all the laps this year. Looks like the rear end went. What's the story on the zero car?
You can just smell the fluid. Like you can just, it was burning. It was really strong smelling. I know that smell because it happened to us last year. So, yeah, I was getting hot.
All right, he's out of the car. Zero Stiers, okay here, guys. But rear end with issues.
20 laps to go this time for Kevin Lacroix. He works to the inside of Simon Dion-Vienne in that 37. Andrew Ranger trying to close in. Ranger was a little faster that lap. Lacroix barely a mark on that 74. We talked about the damage to the right front fender early on in this race, but otherwise it has been a hard, clean race for Kevin Lacroix. But now Ranger has the back bumper in sight of that 74 machine. 18 laps to go, and Ranger trying to make this a battle for the win. They are too wide in front of the race leader. Jason Hathaway in the 3 trying to stay on the lead lap. He runs in the 8th spot. Directly ahead of Hathaway, Steve Cote running 7th. Unbelievable that Steve Cote, that car is holding together for him as Hathaway makes contact with Cote. Cote slow on the outside. Now Kevin Lacroix closing in on the back of the 3. It looks like Steve Cote going to safely get off to the pits in that 29 machine. Now Lacroix trying to size up Hathaway in the 3 as Andrew Ranger is right there in the 27. Lacroix to the inside of Hathaway, down in 1 and 2. Ranger closing in as well. Lacroix didn't use him up, but Hathaway had to redirect that 3 machine as Lacroix knows he's got to get away from Andrew Ranger. Now Ranger clears the Hathaway number 3. There's 14 laps to go. Two car lengths between Kevin Lacroix and the 74 and the 27 of Andrew Ranger. Ranger able to run the bottom line on the racetrack. Lacroix up high. Ranger just a hair faster than the 74. We've got a battle for the lead. Off of turn number 4, Ranger to the inside of Kevin Lacroix. He shows a nose to the inside of the 74, trying to draw even with the driver from St. Eustache, Quebec. Lacroix drives it deep into 3 and 4, slides up the racetrack. That allows Ranger to get alongside side by side for the lead. Kevin Lacroix up on the high side, running that smooth line. Andrew Ranger doing everything he can on the bottom, trying to be as smooth as he can, but still get back to the throttle. With 10 laps to go, Kevin Lacroix leads by 3/100ths of a second. Lacroix got loose that time in turn number 2. That allowed Ranger to draw ahead on the back straightaway. Who's it going to be this time? Andrew Ranger, the new race leader, with 9 laps to go. 9 laps remain. Ranger out in front of that GM Paillet 27. Kevin Lacroix not giving up, drives it deep down the outside of 3 and 4. Ranger has the Corsall number 54 to deal with. He drives to the inside. Now Lacroix comes down the racetrack. He will follow Ranger through 1 and 2. Both of them clear that 54 as Lacroix trying to close in on the back bumper of the 27 of Ranger.
And he took a good shot at him in 3 there with laps winding down, only 6.5 to go.
Kevin Lacroix is able to charge into the corner, but Andrew Ranger able to roll the center and avoid any contact with the 74 of Lacroix. Like we said, these are teammates. They work on these cars out of the same shop, battling for the win here at Chaudiere.
Yeah, no team orders obviously here as Lacroix doing all he can to get that 27 back. Mike Chaudiere, the starter, waves the high five at the leaders as they come by into 1.
Closing in on the back of DJ Kennington. Kennington to the inside of Steve Cote in the 29. Kennington still on the lead lap, running in the 6th spot. So he wants to stay ahead of these leaders. There is a gaggle of traffic. Ranger looking to make it 3 wide on the inside. He thinks better of it, stays in line behind DJ Kennington. 3 laps to go.
Kennington opened the door out of 2, out of 4, but now he crowds him down. Leader is on the bottom. Kennington will be pinned up on top. Ranger will get through. Can Lacroix?
2 laps to go this time. Kevin Lacroix right up on the back bumper of the 27 of Andrew Ranger. The move over flag being waved to Maxime Gauvreau. He gets up to the outside out of harm's way, but he is still ahead of these race leaders. 1
more lap to go, Adam. Bring us home.
Andrew Ranger leads the way as they cross the white flag. Kevin Lacroix right behind, down into 1 and 2. Lacroix puts a bumper to the 27, not hard enough to move him. Final time through 3 and 4 in the Bud Light 300. Lacroix to the outside. It's a drag race to the checkers. Andrew Ranger wins the Bud Light 300 over Kevin Lacroix. Holy moly, what a race.
Well, we had talked about, was he saving something? Was he managing his race? And boy, did he ever. What a turn of luck here for Ranger, who couldn't buy bad luck anymore because it was all he could handle last year.
DJ Kennington pulls alongside the 27, a big thumbs up. Those two are good buddies. They have been for quite some time. Andrew Ranger had a smile on his face like a little kid earlier today. He was just happy to be at the racetrack with a piece he felt he can go out and play with. He can contend for wins, and that is exactly what he did here in the Bud Light 300. Listen to that crowd. Andrew Ranger is a man of the people. He has always been popular here in Quebec. A different kind of popular than any of the other superstars down here, as he is going to light up those rear tires. Doing a burnout down the front straightaway, checkered flag in hand. Clinton Jeffrey is headed to victory lane. Andrew Ranger instructed to wait on the back straightaway until command. They're waiting for victory lane to be ready. You can see them wheeling it around there at the start-finish line. This is going to be one elated driver. And Clinton Jeffrey, you haven't heard a crowd like this in quite some time. When he climbs out of that race car, they are going to erupt here at Autodrome Chaudiere. Victory lane getting set up. Confetti cannon in place. Andrew Ranger waiting in turn number 3. It has been a tough run of luck for Andrew Ranger. What a show this was. Let's take you through. Kevin Lacroix finishes second. Marc-Antoine Cameron third. LP Dumoulin fourth in the 47, with Donald Teege rounding out the top 5 in the 80. Those were all the cars remaining on the lead lap. 6 through 10, DJ Kennington, the 17, the 3 of Jason Hathaway, the 92, Dexter Stacey, 37, Simone Dion-Vienne, and the 1 of JP Bergeron. Here comes Andrew Ranger down to victory lane. Everham victory lane, in fact. Brings that GM Paillet car to a stop, kills the engine. The crew is there to celebrate. Now we will await Clinton Jeffrey with the winner's interview as soon as Andrew ready to climb out of that race car.
Andrew down here, Adam, taking a quick breather. He gets the gloves off. He'll take the air box off the top of the helmet, just relishing this moment a little bit. As you can imagine, we talked about the struggles they had in 23. He is back in 24.
He certainly is. A gifted race car driver. As the helmet comes off, he's going to hang that up. And you're right, Clinton. He has taken an extra minute or so, I think, to soak this in. It is a warm day here in Quebec. And it looks like an emotional
the hat.
race.
Go ahead, Adam.
No, go ahead.
Here comes Andrew Ranger out of the Paillet machine. What a race. What a perfectly managed day for the driver of the 27 and this entire team. Very ecstatic, and we'll jump in here. Andrew, what a drive after the season you had in 23. What a turnaround here, and what a day you guys managed this. Riding in third, managing your time, waiting, and it paid off, buddy.
Exactly. You know, I was trying to save my stuff to the end. We all know that we have a fast car, but we were not really quick in the beginning, but at the end, we were able to be saving the tire, and with 10-15 to go, I saw the guys right in front of me, so I pushed a little bit in the 96 and the 74 a little bit, and we know first race this year, so it's fantastic.
Quickly, what does it mean to win in front of this crowd?
It's a lot. It's been tough the last 2 years, but to put that 27 back in the podium like that to win, it's great.
An emotional win here for Andrew Ranger as JC Paillet comes in and gives him a huge hug. Paillet was pumped up today, emotional down here in Victory Lane.
What a show it was. What a monumental crowd. A beautiful day for the Bud Light 300. We want to thank you for following along on the stream. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you as we continue our journey east. Next stop, St. John's, Newfoundland.